So at this launch, let me unveil the Director of Rugby for the Asia Pacific Lions and also the Captain of Asia Pacific Lions. But first off, the Wallaby Legend, one and only, David Campese.
David Campese all the way! So's Campese gets it in his hands, David Campese dodging both ways and feeding to
Mr. Campese.
Thank you.
All right. And let me also welcome the captain, former Japanese international, none other than Jamie Henry.
Oh, it's gone nicely for Henry, the man himself. And Henry running for the lick of his life, and is he in?
Dumbo Alengo was superb. Look at this. I think this is a try, Keith. This is fantastic by Henry. Well,
this is the hardest way to score. By a long shot.
Aiken and a good tackle, but now the kick out to the wing from Tamura. Try! Oh, what a beauty! Jamie Henry.
There we go. We got two great wingers. So the message is clear. Jamie, thank you very much, mate. All right, let's start the show. Firstly, Campo, thank you very much. You have been in Sri Lanka last year.
Yep.
Your first thought about this whole concept?
Yeah, look, I think it's fantastic. It's been the 10 days over there was unbelievable for myself. First time being to Sri Lanka. Obviously, it was great to also catch up with some of the guys I played sevens against back in the 80s when Hong Kong Sevens was a global sevens hub. And and it's also, a promising opportunity for a lot of young kids there to come and play and see international rugby. And obviously, hopefully, get some dreams and then go offshore or something, or make Sri Lanka a better place for rugby and make them stronger in the Asia Pacific.
Absolutely, yes. So Asia Pacific Lions, powered by DASA Group, it's a combination of Asia's top-tier elite players, including Sri Lankans, who Jamie has played with along, and also the Pacific Islanders based in all the Pacific around, including Australia and New Zealand as well. Jamie, firstly, congratulations, mate. Really grateful for you to accept this invitation, and it was an honor to have you as the captain of Asia Pacific Lions.
Yeah, firstly, thank you for the opportunity to be here. Look, when you come to me about this concept, I was really thrilled about being a part of it. I spent a lot of years in Japan playing professional rugby, and I see the potential in Asia as a whole. Where they lack the opportunity, I feel like Asia Pacific Lions Rugby can provide not only Sri Lankan players, also other Southeast Asian players the opportunity to get amongst playing with seasoned professionals and therefore uplift themselves and the wider Asia rugby community. So it's a great initiative and a concept I'm really happy to be a part of.
Absolutely, indeed. You have played Japan 7s and 15s, so as Campo played both the events. You have played at the race course. You know the atmosphere, how it is like. If you take generally a school rugby crazy in Sri Lanka, average 4,000 to 5,000 watts under 19 schools rugby. And if it's a varsity or a knockouts game, 10,000 plus. And the traditional, the greatest, longest perhaps, the school rugby rivalry, Bradby Shields, between Royal College and Trinity, that has over 15,000. So the rugby is there, and the support, the passion, the atmosphere is there, Jamie. How do you see this game is going to be in terms of a UK Premiership club coming to Sri Lanka?
Yeah, having played at Sri Lanka, I know the kind of excitement they bring. There's a lot of crowd there supporting rugby, which not many people outside of the wider rugby community would know, but I think to have this concept introduced into Sri Lanka to give them the opportunity to play against a UK-based team or see them live, I think that's just going to expose rugby to even greater depths in Sri Lanka.
Campo, last time a UK team or England rather, and Blackpool Football Club. They came to Ceylon, then Ceylon, and played in 1969 and 70. And before that, obviously, the Lions came and played in Ceylon, 1930s and 1950s. So, richer history, over 140 years of rugby history. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, look, I think it's a great opportunity, and it's just a shame that I think the old vice president of World Rugby, Peugeot, who was supposed to be the president, and I think his aim was to embrace Asian rugby, and obviously he didn't get to the next spots. And I think it's over the many years, like I went to Hong Kong in 83 for the first time. It was a great tournament. You had Malaysia, you had Sri Lanka, you had China, you had all that, South Korea. That's what Sevens was about, and that's where it all started. But unfortunately, when the IRB get involved, they sort of want what they want. And this is a good opportunity for the younger kids to be exposed to international players, but also I think there's a couple of Sri Lankan players out in Australia because they go obviously leave to go to a rugby school,
yeah.
and you don't want that. You want them to actually stay and play, and then hopefully be a force in rugby.
Absolutely. You mentioned that Aiden Ekanayaka, who plays for Wallaby Sevens, as well as he played for the under-20s recently. So there's lots of good news coming that. But it's not only the opportunity we are creating for the Asia, also the Pacific, because we know how incredible, even if we witness the Lions series, there's a First Nation versus Pacifica.
Yeah.
That's a new initiative. And then they played AU versus New Zealand, another initiative. But perhaps that's once in every 4 years. And perhaps APL is going to be every year, hopefully.
Yeah, look, it depends on what the crowds, if they come along and watch. And you mentioned that the New Zealand under 85 kilos were there. And when I was there, you could see rugby is for either. It's a great, opportunity. But I just think it's got to be, if we bring the players over as well in the Barbarian team, and we play that style of rugby where it's just don't kick, you go entertain. I mean, that's what rugby should be about. It's not a test match. We did see the Lions versus Australia and New Zealand, and you can just see half the players didn't want to be there. Their faces like, oh, it's another game, But you've got to enjoy, and that's why you've got to bring the players who want to embrace that, go and have a bit of fun. That's what rugby is all about.
Absolutely, indeed. Jamie, you are playing in Japan. You're almost coming to the end of your career, or you're planning to go until 40 or beat Matt Gitto in that sense?
Yeah, to be honest, I'm looking to end my career, but I think, well, if Matt Gitto can do it, Adam Ashley Cooper can do it, like, why can't I keep doing it? So the opportunities are there, but yeah, I'm just really living in the moment right now.
Brilliant. And also, we are going to sign few of the stars we cannot mention as yet. Probably one of the Wallaby stars, as well as one of the former All Blacks. We are in contact. Hopefully this goes well. And it's all about blending, again, stars versus semi-pros back in Asia, like perhaps Hong Kong top 4 if we take Hong Kong, Korea, UAE, and Sri Lanka.
Yeah, definitely. I think the opportunity that we will provide as Asia Pacific Lions Rugby is just to expose Asian professionals to another level. As you mentioned, there are possibilities of current internationals or former internationals joining this setup, this concept, and to have them exposed to professionals in, like you said, Hong Kong, Korea, Sri Lanka, China, UAE. It's only going to lift the standards of Asia rugby, and which is what we want as a whole.
Yes, indeed. Campo, when it comes to an event in such caliber, obviously the sponsor plays a vital part, and DASA Group coming on board, they sponsored you last year as well. Sponsors play.
Yeah, look, I think sponsors are vital, especially in these days. I mean, you've got so many opportunities, so many games going on. But I really think that the opportunity. I mean, I coached Singapore in '98 for a month, and they had the Asian Championship, and there was Sri Lanka, Malaysia, and all those. So it's been going on. There is, but I think they need to go that next level, and I think by always offering something different so they can learn. And then obviously the coaches come along and they do and just understand the game, because the game is a great game. It is a world game, but we just need to put it out there a bit more to the places that don't get exposed enough. And when you got the stars, like hopefully we get who we want, they can see like that could be a young kid's dream, or he meets the people, and that's who they want to be like. So you just need to expose them to that. And when you do that, you never know what's going to happen.
Absolutely, good point that you made. Well, Sri Lanka schools rugby, I did mention, and in 2005, one of the papers carried out that myself sidestepped like David Campese.
I don't think so. Are you sure? Did you write that?
It's
Did
not
you
the
write it
goose step.
yourself?
It's not goose step. It's
didn't say
sidestep apparently, right? So at that time, Campo, obviously we didn't have the Facebook or the Google. We just did the Yahoo search, and that day, that day I made a envision that one day I'm going to meet the great Campo. Even Jamie came here today. He did mention that. I can't wait till Campo come. I want to take a photo with you. So wait, we have two wingers. So the mindset is clear what type of rugby that Asia Pacific Lions are going to play. But coming back to that. The reason I mentioned that, Campo, there's so many Sri Lankan schoolboys under 16, 17, 18. Around 4,000 plays in A division, right? And after that, there's no high performance per se, and literally only maybe less than 10% remain in the club segment.
Yeah.
And if you take internationally, Sri Lanka, they have scored tries against the All Blacks in the Commonwealth Games. They have scored tries against Fiji, Wales, you name it, even Australia. So there is talent, but this is the path where perhaps one or few or many players, young players, one day they want to play for Sri Lanka as well as they want to play for Asia Pacific Lions.
Yeah, but again, that's got to be the exposure that the IRB give them as well. I'd really think at Hong Kong now, what I would do is, if I was Hong Kong, I'd go to the IRB and say, listen, we don't want your tournament, because it's only the 16. They choose the team, so Hong Kong can't really play in their own tournament. You go to Singapore Sevens, Singapore don't play in their own tournament, but the IRB run it, which is really bizarre, because you, as a country, you want to see your people come through the ranks. So I would go to Hong Kong and say, listen, just get all the old guys, just say Fiji will come back, Australia will come back, New Zealand will go. You get the Sri Lankans, you get the South Koreans, the Malaysians. That's what it's about. And see, once you know you can go somewhere playing rugby, because at the moment, if you think about Sri Lanka, there's not too many opportunities. Because not really up to that next level. But when you get exposed to sevens and all that, you get exposure, then you do well there, then you get the 15s. And that's what life's about, Mason. The exposure of the game against big competition, big teams, that's when you start to learn, and that's when you start to get better.
Yeah, indeed. You mentioned about New Zealand under 85 kg, literally stands up full, like 25,000 people in Kandy. I saw some foreigners, even they are going into the roof to watch the game. So it was packed. And Sumo, the Scottish Stevenson from commentary, for me to take him to the commentary box, it took literally more than 15 minutes. So it was crazy, and we hope that similar climax will appear in Sri Lanka next year, hopefully with the team. Jamie, I'm sure you're going to get some big Japanese names to APL as well.
Yeah, definitely. I've spoken to a few players that I've played with over the years, and they're definitely interested. It's all depending on the time and how their contracts are set up. But no, definitely there's a few players that we're talking to and really keen to get on board.
Brilliant. Any questions?
For Campo, you visited Sri Lanka recently, like what we were discussing. Your thoughts on IRB's help and involvement in growing the game with such an initiative like the Asia Pacific Lions?
Yeah, look, I think it's vital. I think that the UAE as well, now they're getting involved big time. There's all this money going around, there's competitions. It's sad that you've got to have a lot of money to try and start something. It's as I remember, even now you've got Hong Kong. I think they've made the next World Cup.
Yep.
So it will happen. Singapore's the same, But the biggest, I think, obstacle really is with the Asian. They're not as physical like some of the guys like Jonah. They're not as big. That's been their problem. So hopefully this will change. The under 85 kilo sounds like a great idea. And I just think just the exposure. If they just got to they make a lot of money, but where is that money? They've got to start to spread it around. Asia's a great opportunity. It's a great place to go and visit as well. So the tourism, it's like the Lions coming here, the amount of money they're going to make here. But it's going to be interesting where Australian rugby, what they do with the money, because grassroots is struggling big time here as well. So you've got to put the money in the right place, and you've got to have the right people in place to do that.
Thank you. Next up, Jamie, you played against Sri Lanka and few internationals as well. I was just wondering that whether at that time you had any idea of a concept such as the Asia Pacific Lions.
Yeah, at the time, not really. But having played there, well, originally having first went to Sri Lanka, you don't realise how beautiful it is. I think now it's voted as one of the top, the most beautiful.
Oh yeah, you remembered, yeah.
Yes, I think it's voted.
Sri Lanka named the most beautiful, the most beautiful island in 2025. Yeah, there you go, Jamie.
Yeah, so not many people would know that, but having been there, it really is. And then you get there, and then you have the opportunity to play against Sri Lankan national sides, and you see the amount of support they get. It's awesome. It's probably one of the most underrated places I've ever played at. The race course is probably one of the top fields I've played in Asia as a whole. So now the opportunity to go back to Sri Lanka and play there again is really enticing and something I look forward to.
Saabir, there's a question for you. How have you managed to do all this, and did you have any obstacles that you faced?
Obstacle in the sense, firstly, I must be grateful Campo came last year, so since then things became more easy. It's not easy to get a guy like that to Sri Lanka. And secondly, I must thank to Sri Lanka Tourism Ministry and the Sports Ministry and all the stakeholders, and also the diplomatic mission. Without that, it won't be success. I should thank His Excellency Andrew Patrick, the British High Commissioner in Sri Lanka, his utmost support and blessings, so as the Australian High Commissioner, His Excellency Paul Stevens. Literally, I don't know whether it's right to say, my visa to come to this launch got refused, and thanks to him, I reapplied and I got my visa. So the diplomatic support that
Something you got to tell us? Yeah. You're hiding something? Tell us? What are you hiding?
So, without the diplomatic mission, it won't be, obviously, then the sponsors. I'm so blessed to have Mr. Marzouk of DASA chairman in the UK. So, without sponsor, it's always tough to get this magnitude. And we hope there's more sponsors will come, just like the New Zealand tour. There's plenty of sponsors. And we'll wait and see. So, in terms of obstacle, that is the obstacle. But we are negotiating with the UK Premiership Rugby Club. And they have shown intent, probably not one, maybe 2 or 3 it could be. So we'll wait and see we'll take one at a time. So as we speak about Sri Lanka and the beauty of Sri Lanka, like Jamie said, we have another voice of Sri Lankan cricket, Russel Arnold, former Sri Lanka cricketer. Russel, thank you very much for coming in. Russel, you know how mad, how crazy Sri Lanka schools rugby and Sri Lanka rugby as a whole. So this whole concept, Asia Pacific Lions, combination of star players including Sri Lanka and the Pacific Islanders playing in Sri Lanka with a UK Premiership club. Your thoughts, Russell?
Yeah, it's exciting actually to have that thought going through any Sri Lankan's mind, because you're very right. Sri Lankans very passionate about rugby. They know everything. They watched you. You ask them, they'll answer any question, and they follow rugby around the world like a religion. In fact, it's not only cricket. It's just unfortunate with our little sizes that we can't really compete at the highest levels, but the interest and the way that they go about their game, it's exciting. And with you guys coming over with the Asia Pacific Lions and the British team coming in, it's going to be exciting times. And that will only encourage rugby followers and players in Sri Lanka. Standards have certainly gone up. If you've watched how the Sri Lankans do play, there's a bit more size coming into it, but of course speed and throwing the ball around, they play an exciting brand. It's just that when these blokes start running into you, it gets a little hard. But it's all good. Really looking forward to it.
Thank you very much, Russ. You did mention about Campese's visit last year during your cricket commentary when he was in town in Colombo. And Russ, we were talking about this, the whole objective is Australia's economy with this British Lions tour $420 million. So what we are expecting is this to create a Bamiami concept to Sri Lanka, and from this 420, we are just expecting that mere 1%, Russ.
No, I'm sure it's a place that a lot of people can visit. It's not only about the rugby. You talk about the tourism, the culture in Sri Lanka, the nature, and the various different aspects that it has to offer for a visitor. 2-hour drive, you would probably know since you've come over, you find very different lifestyles. And hence, that is quite inviting as well. And along with the rugby, it just makes it a wonderful holiday. It's a wonderful stopover for anyone to soak in different cultures and absorb beauty of another part of the world. And another aspect that really does touch people who visit is how good they have it from the Western world. Now, this is reality, actually. And when people come over, they keep coming back because there's a sense or feeling good about yourself in helping disadvantaged communities, which you do, unfortunately, do find quite a bit in Sri Lanka. And that fulfills your lifestyle as well. So in a lot of aspects, it's a massive positive. It's not only us jumping around and cheering the Ruggerites or watching the rugby. There's a lot more areas that such a venture would cover.
Campo, anything to say on that?
Yeah, the other thing that's very important over there is watch how they all drive on the roads. I get a mail. I'm sitting there when I was in the traffic. I had the driver once. I said, mate, there's a car coming. No, I'll be right. It'll be right.
Better drivers, anticipation at a very different
That's what
level,
I mean.
Campo.
That's what I mean. You have to learn things. But for me, I'm Italian, so you can imagine what I'm like as a driver. But it was absolutely amazing watching these semi-trailers coming down one-way street and mate, it's like total different lifestyle. Yeah.
That's the skill we got.
I
That's the
know.
skill
Every
we
country's got a different skill, mate. I agree.
And Russ mentioned about the size, size is just age is just a number, size is just a factor.
Exactly.
So,
I agree.
but
Definitely.
in all honesty, why do we have two great wingers? So Asia Pacific Lions, our vision is to play like this, just like the Barbarians concept, don't kick. So
Well, we hope so.
We hope so. Yeah. We're still in the building phase. Russ, you mentioned about the stopovers in Sri Lanka. Perhaps the long-term vision is perhaps just like the Lions did in 1930s and 1950s, where the great Suma Navaratnam played in 1950s. He was known as the Bolt of Asia. He ran 10.01 in those tracks at that year. So maybe we want to play a Suma Navaratnam Trophy Asia Pacific Lions versus Lion in 2033, a stopover one game. I mean, we can do a lot of wonders. And also, Sri Lankan government, for a factor, we don't have a 30,000 or a 40,000 rugby stadium per se. So we have 8 years in that.
Well, lots of plans, but getting a start is the most important thing, and I think this is the first step. But what you have in mind and what can be achieved, there are numerous possibilities which will only advance rugby for rugby lovers or sports lovers, and also lifestyles of people in that part of the world. And those who come in, as I mentioned earlier, go away with memories, and they will come back to soak in more, that's for sure. So get on with it.
Yes, there's no cost for a dream or a vision. So there we go. We'll wait and see. And once again, Russ, thank you very much for accepting our short notice and coming. I spoke to Daniel Mills from Rugby Australia. He said he knows you, but I thought you were doing commentary back home. But here you are. Thank you very much. David Campese, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And
Thanks,
look
mate.
forward to see you
Appreciate
again
it.
in Sri Lanka. And Jamie Henry, the captain, thank you very much, Jamie.
Thank you. Appreciate it.